What is SEO? I'm sure you have heard that word often as you navigate online marketing and just being present online. And of course, there is a very technical explanation as to what SEO is, but that is not what we will do in this video. We will not dive into the technical aspects of SEO. We will understand what people typically mean when they speak about SEO. And then I want to give you a few practical tips about what you can do to be more findable, because ultimately that is what people mean when they speak of SEO. And then at the very end of the video, I will reward you with a very secret hack where you can basically be found very quickly online. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. Well, first of all, SEO stands for search engine optimization. And typically when people use the word SEO, they use it interchangeably for the platform they are currently talking about. As a first rule, SEO is really primarily meant for search engines on the internet, of course, the big one being Google. But it is not uncommon to also hear the word SEO in relation to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever platform you care about being found. People tend to just say YouTube SEO, Instagram SEO, TikTok SEO. But know that the term really comes from the world of Google, internet search engines, where you have a search field and you type something into the search bar and you want your website, your profile to be shown on the first page. The process of making that very likely to be the case is referred to as search engine optimization. You will probably ask, how can I do good SEO? Well, you are in luck. One of the companies that I manage and own actually has years of experience in SEO. And I can tell you that there's generally two approaches to SEO. The first one is one where you very deliberately take very specific actions of technical nature, of copywriting nature, where you really try to do all the right things to get on the first page as quickly as possible. That process is very time intensive and for most of you would require working with an agency or an SEO professional. That is the first route that you can take. The second route is to just focus on serving your audience very well, answering questions very naturally and organically. And guess what? Very automatically you will build up SEO as well, because that is at the end of the day what Google or all the other platforms want. They want good content for the audience that is interested in the content that you create. And generally speaking, that has to do with answering questions, how to, and also just giving good information that provides people with an overview, that equips people with information so that they can make informed decisions based on what you put out there. Having said that, I think you now understand that there are two types of audiences, if you will, for whom you create search engine optimization. The first audience you have to keep in mind is a little robot. Yes, you need to appeal to a robot that is typically referred to as a crawler. And if we stay in the domain of websites, it's a web crawler, a little code, a little piece of code that Google sends to your website and throughout the entire internet, scouring for information and updates so that Google knows what is out there in terms of information, and as that relates to the questions that Google's user base has. And that is really all of us, because as you very well know, you can Google a certain term, which means you type it in the search engine and you want to find more information about that. Now, it is very important to note that there's not only Google. Of course, we know that YouTube is also a very powerful search engine. And then we have TikToks, we have Instagrams. And of course, with the advent of AI, it is also very important to have all of our content indexed and categorized in a way where it is very friendly for those robots who basically harvest the information, see what's out there, and then report that back to the algorithm of whatever search platform you use, so that that platform can make a best decision onto what content to highlight. So we need to appeal to the robots. But more importantly, I would say the second type of audience that is a consumer of search engine optimization is the human itself. And in a way, you want to find the perfect intersection between thinking of your content as something that is consumed by a robot and also, of course, by a human. So when it comes to the robot, things that matter are aspects such as title tags and H1 tags and lots of technical things which are beyond the scope of this video. And then of course for the human, it is very easy. It is simply the fact that you create good content that is relevant and answers the questions that your audience has. That's really it. And you do that continuously and regularly over a long period of time, and you will find that you will build up SEO ranking. As a matter of fact, a lot of you content creators who watch this video might already have a very good ranking, and they did so by creating content for years, and you are not even aware of it. That is the beauty of just being of service to an audience and also knowing what are the questions that people really have and answering those. Let's talk for a moment about what is a realistic expectation. How soon and how fast can you be shown on the first page of Google if we want to stay with that platform? And this is where you have to be very careful, because a lot of vendors in this space take advantage of you not understanding what it really takes to be shown on the first page. The truth is that for competitive keywords, it depends on the industry, the search term, and the competition, but it can take up to a year to be shown on the first page of Google. It is a very desirable spot. Everybody wants to be on the first page, but there is only one first page. So you need to understand that you cannot just magically appear on the first page overnight. And anyone who promises you otherwise is a red flag. You really have to be very careful and ask for references if someone tells you so. And that is not to be confused with paying to be on the first page. So as you know, when you research a term, there is the organic search result, and then at the very top there are sponsored results, which that has nothing to do with being found organically. You want to be found organically for something that is related to how people look for you. And you have to understand, this is a very common mistake, that people generally don't look for your name or your company's name, because if they knew you, they wouldn't have to search for you in the first place. So always aim to be findable for keywords that describe the service or the solution you're offering, and don't focus too much on being found for your company's name. Although I understand that is important, but that is actually quite easy to achieve, especially if you are unique. Let's imagine we have Shanks, which is one of my businesses. Shanks in San Antonio is easy to be found. However, if someone enters healthcare marketing in San Antonio, I want to be found for that, because that is where I may attract people who don't even know about me yet, and then they can find my company. I do want to give you a few tips, and then let's not forget, at the end I will give you a secret hack on how to really truly be on the first page very quickly. But I do want to give you a few tips. If we consider the 80-20 rule, what are 20% of the actions that you can take that drive 80% of the rules? From all the years of experience, here they are. First, you want to register your domain name, which is the address that people type into the browser to reach your website. That is your domain. For example, let's say you had a website, happydog.com. If you have a pet service, maybe happydog.com, that is your domain. You want to register your domain name with the Google Search Console, which is the equivalent of, back in the olden days, calling the company that is responsible for the phone book and telling them, hello, I have a company and I want you to know that I'm reachable under that phone number. So it's the equivalent. We don't have a phone book company we call. We have Google Search Console that we contact and we tell them my website is reachable under this domain name. This already shows Google that you are serious about your website and you have a leg up compared to everyone else who doesn't even bother communicating with Google. Why Google? Well, let's be honest, we spoke about the 80-20 rule. Yes, I know there's Bing and there's DuckDuckGo and other search engines out there, but truth be told, Google is the one that matters most, and if you rank on Google, chances are that the other engines will follow you as well. Next, I want you to claim your Google Business Profile. What is the Google Business Profile? The Google Business Profile is responsible for the reviews and the pictures of your business and also small snippets of information. Very often when you research a company online, on the right-hand side, you will find details about said company. The location, the phone number, the website, the reviews, the pictures, things of that sort. And that information doesn't just come out of thin air. It is collected from your Google business. So you need to make sure you claim your Google Business Profile again, because it is another signal where you tell Google, I am serious about my business. The Google Business Profile requires a physical location, and it is of utmost importance to keep it up to date. This is really, really powerful if you are focused on local search engine optimization. What is local search engine optimization? Well, if you rely on being findable in a specific city or a specific zip code, you can only do business with people who live in a certain geographic area and you want to be found. For example, someone searches for pet services near me on their smartphone. You want to be one of the first results, then Google Business is extremely important. So set up that profile as well. Next, social media profiles in general. So what Google is looking for, besides good content, is lots of different signals on the internet that point to your website and in its totality create a web of objects that all speak the same language, that all confirm that you are truly about the thing that you claim to be an expert about. So we're talking your Facebook profiles, your LinkedIn profiles, your Instagrams, your Yelps. Everything should be filled out, fill out all information and make sure that in the field where you can enter your website, you have your website domain listed, and make sure it is the same domain all over all the profiles. This is very powerful. And of course, again, those that Google owns kind of get a little bit of a preference. So YouTube, as we know, is owned by Google. So definitely give that profile a priority. But every other social profile out there truly matters. So take time to fill that out, and that will help you as another signal for search engine optimization and ranking. Also, your podcasts, any other place, generally speaking, where you can enter your domain name is going to be relevant. Now, here's the secret tip. You made it to the end of the video and you know what is SEO. Now, I told you earlier that it is a red flag if someone claims they can get you on the first page overnight. And that holds true. However, I want to tell you that as I am recording this video, there is one method that can really catapult you relatively quickly, depending on your industry, to the first page. We have seen with our clients at Growth Academy results as fast as a couple of days, but also, generally speaking, weeks or maybe a month or two, which is still fast. We've seen those results with clients that took time to create a LinkedIn newsletter and then write their blog posts, their articles, their newsletter editions, and write those on the LinkedIn platform. Now, let's say, for example, I write a newsletter about the importance of being eloquent in public speaking and recording a lot of videos on my social platforms. And I write something about that and I publish it on LinkedIn as a LinkedIn newsletter, because LinkedIn is such a highly regarded website and it has very strong domain authority because the LinkedIn tech team does everything right. You basically piggyback on LinkedIn's strength, and you are much more likely to be seen with your LinkedIn newsletter that is technically speaking a blog post on LinkedIn, and you can be found very, very quickly. So this is something that you can consider also if you don't even have a website. A lot of you don't have a website, or you're just getting started and you understand that ranking with your blog on your website would take up to a year. You don't have that time. You don't want to deal with it. You can go ahead and write a LinkedIn newsletter. And I will make sure that there is a link down in the description that takes you to a video that talks more about that. But for now, I hope you have a better understanding what SEO is, and I hope my tips will help you rank a little faster.